It cost how much to play the best deck in the room right now? Make sure you guys smash the living crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more Oz content. Now, this is actually very interesting to be looking at right now because one thing the player base was talking about off of the YCS last weekend was the cost of the meta. We have somehow become more expensive than last meta. Now, last meta, we were touching about $1,000 for the better deck, and then some reprints kind of came along and kind of forced down prices. New build kind of came along. Things weren't necessarily too crazy. And then enter in Malcharmi Purgatory, a card that's $140 a copy right now that you have to, I mean, you're at a disadvantage in my personal opinion if you're choosing not to play it. But I also want to point out that many duelists throughout time have overcome these barriers. And second place out of this weekend's YCS proved that you don't need those sorts of cards. Actually, we're in a very strong board breaker format right now, the way it's looks. You guys know what's funny, right, about a board breaker format? You know, we haven't had, I mean, we've had going second turns in the meta, but I feel like the last real good going second deck that we had really felt, you know, like it was really up to standard was going second striker back in like 2019. And that's like 5 years ago. You've had going second innovations, sure, but that's the one that sticks out to me the most. Maybe it's just resonating with the fact that Sky Strikers just walked on in here. And right now, the cost of Sky Striker, based on Ryan Yu's list, is about $410. Well, that is, in fact, $900 less than the first place deck. And then, of course, you have Tenpai Dragons, which a lot of people are looking at as like the second best deck. But you know what's holding that back, right? Good old Malcharmies, if, you know, you're choosing to play them. You have a $740 price tag associated with that deck. Now, for a deck that is deemed as cheap as it is, you know, Hydras alone are $12-15, and the Trident Dragion, the core itself is cheap. I will not lie about that. But the problem turns into cards like this, these new evolving staple cards that, you know, when you have a hand trap, you can literally activate from your hand. That's a solemn that literally says no effect for you on your summon effect is negated. Ooh. You know, I get it. I understand why people look at these cards and they're like, oh, okay, yeah. And then, of course, Labyrinth coming in at a $1,100 price point. So let's be realistic here. I mean, are you going to rush out and play Snake Eyes as Amina? I mean, Deceptions alone are 60s. I mean, Malcharmies. So here's the crazy part, all right, about all of this. The set of staples puts you at $450 for 3 Fuawars. 3 Dominus Impulse, if you're choosing to play them right now. The card recently went up to $60. That is $180 per copy of those. Alone in those 6 cards, you have a $630 investment. Now, what if I want to play Deceptions from the latest set for Fire Kings? We're now looking at $810 in 9 new cards. All right. Honestly, the set, last year's set, the one that had, you know, SP Little Knight in it and everything else, the Horus package, Diabell Stars. I hate to say it, but that set, while it's as crazy as it actually is, it's not holding any real comparative value from that era to this, because Rage of the Abyss is just way more insane. And I hate to say this, based on the pattern that we tend to follow in this game, especially with people chasing these $140 cards out here. But I cannot imagine a point within the next 3 months that this sealed product doesn't explode upwards to $100. And I do very much have a feeling that's going to be the case. All right. And, you know, as sealed product becomes, even more scarce out here, to the people that don't want to play this game over the price point, your echoes are being smothered out by the fact that people do want to play this game. It's so crazy because every day I'll see somebody being like, I'm not buying new Yu-Gi-Oh product. I don't support what Konami's doing here. And that's fine. But unfortunately, this game has such a large audience that you're just being muffled out. Somebody else is like, oh, hey, I just finally saved up some money. I can go get my set of impulses. Or, I just went to Walmart, bought the story of, I bought 4 packs, pulled an impulse and a Mulcharmy. I'm going to go sell my Mulcharmy, buy 2 more impulses. I got my playset. I can play the game. It is such a wild ebb and flow in here. And what I find interesting is people are more willing to play this format than they were previous ones. Now, a $1,300 price point with a card that allows you to go second, with a $450 price point locking people out, has now got players interested in wanting to play the game because now they feel like there's cards to be pulled and money to be made. This goes against everything that this community has been shouting for the last couple months. This goes against the whole Yu-Gi-Oh is dead mentality. And I've been saying this for a while. It's so interesting to see. And just, I don't know. I'm impressed. I'm impressed with how big the swings are in this community and how muffled out the opinions become when real actual money is tossed around, a new format is refreshed. And I'm sure in 2-3 weeks, we're going to start hearing this format sucks. I hate this game. They're there. They're in the background right now. You just can't hear them yet. They're not at the front row seats going, see, I told you so. All right, wait till the I told you so's start coming to the front. You start having the sympathizers gathering with them, and it's going to be rough. Should Yu-Gi-Oh! Be a $1,300 game? No, it should not be. This game has, a playset of max rarity Mulcharmies is a QCR Mulcharmy, I think, is like $420. It was like $450 on release. A QCR Mulcharmy is worth 3 regular Mulcharmies at $150 a Mulcharmy. Think about that for a second. I've only seen one case of one person getting a QCR and trading it for 3 Mulcharmies. It has in fact happened, though. It is not an untold story. And I reference a lot of the getting rich, I pulled amazing off of my PAX stories because they're so realistic. They're so crazy, and we're just in that era right now that people, they want to travel, they want to just try to pull good. People want to enter regionals to get their 5 packs just to pull good. It is what it is right now. So I guess overall, $1,000 for a deck isn't the craziest thing. In more recent times, is it deterring to a lot? Yeah, it is. But board breaker cards exist. The format's in a state where you can play these board breakers, and you have options, all right? Unfortunately, players just believe that they have to play the best deck or the best options in order to break this, and people don't want to innovate or attempt to innovate anymore. I get it. Being spoon-fed the best deck is one way to go about things, but yeah. So are you spending $1,000 on Yu-Gi-Oh right now? Yeah, most people aren't. I don't expect that, but there's a lot more out there than you think there are. And you know what? It's enough to cause a buyout on Dominus Impulse, taking it to like 16 listings the other day. So that's a scary thing too. Watching 100 plus listings going down to like 16, with people having multiples. There's a lot more people buying Yu-Gi-Oh! But when we narrow down the visor out here, people just can't see that this game is a lot bigger than you think it is. So, well, hope you guys have a good rest of your day, all right? Patrons! Thank you!
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.